With this video, I'm going to be showing you how to complete our first assignment, lesson 1.1 in Google Docs, getting started. So with this activity, we'll be managing and organizing files. If you could please pause the video and set your desktop the way that you see mine here. On one side of your screen, I should see this tutorial playing, and on the other side of your screen, I should see your Google Drive. So if you could please pause the video and set your desktop the way that you see mine, and then we will continue. Okay, so before we move on, let's look at the what do I need to learn, why do I need to learn it, and how will I know? And also set ourselves up with the overview and what we're going to be learning today. So what do I need to learn? How do I use Google Apps to create, collaborate, and share documents effectively? So those will be our questions that we're going to ask ourselves throughout these Google activities. Why do I need to learn it? Understanding how to use productivity tools correctly will make creating, editing, and sharing documents easier and will help me be more marketable in the future. How will I know that I have learned it? I can successfully create folders to organize my files as I complete each lesson in this module with 100% accuracy. So what that means is that you need to score 10 out of 10 on each of these assignments before you can move on. If you don't score 10 out of 10, then you will not be able to move on to the next assignment. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Google Drive with this activity. Google Drive is a cloud storage service that allows you to store your files and access them from any computer or device with an internet connection. Google Drive also allows you to create, share, and manage files as well as collaborate with others while using its productivity apps such as Docs, Sheets, Slides, Forms, and Drawings, to name a few. So these are the skills that we're going to be learning today. I'm not going to go through them, but these are all the things that we are going to be doing. And we will be creating many different files, including these files that we'll have on our drive that we're going to save in our Mrs. Norris 2022. We're going to be taking some screenshots that we're going to name such as like this, okay? And then we're going to save a Google Doc here, okay? So these again will be the names of our files that we're going to be creating, but I'm going to be showing you all of that today with this tutorial. All right, so let's get started. On the right-hand side, you can see that I am open to my drive. I'm going to look for that folder that I should have already created called 2022 Mrs. Norris. If you haven't created that file yet, then you can do so by clicking on the New button and then selecting New Folder and naming it 2022 Mrs. Norris. So if you haven't done that, do that for me now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up that folder. You should have in the last activity before you moved on to this one, saved your timed typing goal sheet in here. So we're all good with that. If you haven't, then you will eventually do that as well. But other than that, if you haven't done the goal sheet yet, then your folder will be empty. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create the folders where we are going to be saving our different documents in this module. So let's get started here. We're going to create a folder by right-clicking. So I can either right-click and do new folder, or I can click on the plus button and click new folder from here. But I'm going to right-click and new folder, and we are going to name this folder My Docs. My Docs, and I can see it here. It says My Docs, so that's what I'm going to name my first folder. So My Docs and then create. Please pause this video and do that for me now. Okay, I'm going to continue with my sheets. So right click, new folder, my sheets, and then create. Again, I'm continuing through with the drive folders. I'm not worrying about the color right now, just I'm making sure I have each of these folders. So I'm going to continue doing that. You continue as well. My drawings, my forms, and finally my slides. Okay. So create these folders if you haven't done so yet. Pause, create the folders, and then restart this tutorial. Now, if I go back to my assignment page, it tells me what color I'm supposed to make each of these folders. So my docs will be rainy sky, sheets is asparagus, drawings is cardinal, forms is fern, and slides is macaroni. So I'm going to go to my docs and I'm going to right click and I'm going to change the color. And I'm going to hover my mouse over these different colors until I find the one that says rain sky. So that's pool, denim, and then rainy sky. So again, if I right click, scroll down, and then hover my mouse over the different squares, then the name of the color will show up. So for my drawings, it's supposed to be cardinal, which is a red. Forms is supposed to be, what color here? Fern, which is probably like a green. Spearmint, fern. My sheets is asparagus, also a green. There we go. And my slides is macaroni, which is like a yellow. Desert sand, macaroni. Okay, so if you could pause and change the colors of your folders, and then we'll move on to the next step in a moment. Okay, so now it says that we have to take a screenshot, and we're going to take a screenshot of this area here because I'm going to be looking to see that this full set of folders is saved in your 2022 Mrs. Norris folder. So if you haven't set a screenshot yet on your Mac, which is what we're using in this class, if you look at your keyboard, you're going to want to hold the Shift button, the Command button, and the number 4 all at the same time. And you can see that your mouse has turned into a little crosshair. So I'm going to take a screenshot from the corner of the word My Drive. I really just need the folders. That's what I'm looking for right now. Okay. And then I want to, again, be able to see that you have the 2022 Mrs. Norris folder where all of these other folders are saved. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, it's showing up down here, so I need to rename it. Okay, so I am going to click on the Finder, which is this little smiley face. And probably yours is going to be in your downloads. If it's not there, then click on Desktop. It might be saved there. If you have this view open, show the items as icons in a list on a column, then in the columns one, then when I click on it once, I can see that this is the picture that I want. Okay, so again, if I choose columns, I can now click on it once and it will show me the image of what I want to rename in a preview. Okay, so I'm going to click once and now I can rename it what my Canvas page tells me to name it, which is my first name, last name, and then L1 underscore, which as it says here is next to the number 0 on your keyboard. You have to hold the Shift button and press that key to get the underscore. 1A. Okay. So this is one that I will be submitting in Canvas. Okay. So now I'm going to keep working. So I'm going to go ahead and close my Finder. So if you haven't done so yet, pause this tutorial, take your screenshot and rename it your first and last name, lesson 1 underscore 1A. Okay. Okay, just pause this tutorial and do that for me now, please. Okay, so we're going to keep working here. So the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to create an assignment. I'm sorry, a document. So we, are going to go to the new button, and we're still in 2022 Mrs. Norris. We're going to go to the new button, and we want to create a new Google Doc. So I'm just going to select Google Doc. Do that for me now, please. Okay, where it says untitled document, this tells me I need to change it to my first and last name, colon, lesson 1.1. So I'm going to do that exact thing, my first and last name, colon, lesson 1.1. And then when I hit return, it's going to save that as my file name. Do that for me now, please. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to type very simply, we are going to type getting started with Google Drive. Again, we're going to type getting started with Google Drive. Pause the tutorial and do that for me now, please. Okay. Now, it says last edit was seconds ago. This means that it's probably been saved, so I'm safe to close it. So I'm going to go ahead and X out of here. You do the same. And you can see that it is in my main folder, but I want it to be in my docs folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag this file into my docs folder. So let me show you again. I clicked once, let go, click and hold, and move it into my docs folder. So if you could do that for me now, please. Okay, so now this is where our second screenshot comes from. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open my docs folder. Okay. And I'm going to create another screenshot, first and last name, lesson 1B. And so I'm going to screenshot about here. So watch me do it and then pause and do it yourself. So Shift, Command, and the number 4. Click and drag, and then let go. Okay. It's down in the corner here, so I'm waiting for it to disappear, and then I can edit it. I'm going to click on Finder. Mine are on my desktop. Yours are probably in your downloads. So desktop, again, I have it on columns so that I can see. When I click it once, this is the one that I want to rename. Mrs. Norris lesson 1_1B as in boy. Okay. So these are the two that I will be submitting into Canvas for grading. So please make sure that you do that. Once I grade your work, if you receive 100%, a 10 out of 10, then you will be able to move on to the next assignment. But the next assignment will not open until that this current assignment is scored.